Welcome back to the weekly Forex cast. I'm going to be getting right into it, man. Last week, beautiful, solid week in the market. You can see here inside of our Discord, inside of my private Discord, you can see the signals that were called. Sell on EURUSD, TP2 was hit for 70 pips. That actually came probably about 5 pips or so shy of TP3, all right, which is actually a bit further down. All right, so we can see here UJ 182 pips. GU was also a signal call. We can see here GU TP2 hit 127 pips. That end up dropping even more, over 200 pips really. So really just off the signals given this past week, over 400 pips easy. All right, and these were all beautiful moves. So again, if you're looking to tap in and this is more than a signal service though. Yes, I do call signals. But you want to tap in and actually learn at the same time, have a community you could tap in with, you can build off of. Go ahead and join us at the fxwave.com. It's affordable, $67 a month, or you could tap into the yearly, all right? We actually had client here, Jenny. She took $10 to $114. So that shows you it doesn't take a lot of capital once you have the skill and once you know what you're doing, all right? So, but let's get into what we're looking for this week. So this is a big week, expecting big things in the market this week. First and foremost, we have FOMC coming here. That's the main event for this week is FOMC. You see the week is starting off with a lot of flash services. You're on the euro, the dollar, and the pound. Tuesday, CPI, that definitely can move the Australian dollar. And then Wednesday is the big day, FOMC. All right. Understanding fundamentals, when they raise the rates, that typically drives bullish volume into the dollar. All right. But these past few sessions or these past few weeks, it was due to also them pausing rate hikes. All right. They paused rate hikes, negative CPI, and then we see the dollar started to have a dump. All right. So here we do see they're forecasting them to raise it. All right. But I believe it's still a chance that they pause it. But let's say, hypothetically speaking, they do raise it. They raise it to 0.25 points. And, we could likely, if that happens, we should expect some type of bullish pressure to come into the dollar. So I am curious to see how that's going to be. Seeing how the dollar ended this week, we can see how we're going to take a look at how they're potentially setting up possibly for that. All right. Or for the opposite. So we can see here. So that's FOMC. Right after that, the next New York session, we got rates, the rate statement for the euro. All right. ECB. So it's a real busy week. Thursday as well, dealing with the yen. All right, you got the rate statement for the yen. So, yeah, this week is going to be crazy, man. Expect a lot of volume. They might come out the gate and start, setting stuff up early leading into these news events. So we're going to see. All right. So, as always, started with the dollar index. All right. So, the dollar had a pump here, right? And with the pump of this dollar, we were able to catch some of those moves. That's why we were able to catch a Euro USD sell, GU sell. I also caught some gold sell, UJ pump. So we can see dollar form this double bottom right here, right? And then had a shift on the 4-hour. We saw a bullish shift in price. All right, but understanding this from the higher time frame, we could look at this on the weekly chart. And we could see initially, with the negative CPI, the pause in rates, we see the dollar's been bearish. And, I've been following this and updating you guys on this on the different sessions. So we had a break here with this dump. We had a break of this structure support. All right. But now last week, I was anticipating that to be a corrective week for the dollar at least. And that's what we got. So now we're pushing back into this level, possibly setting up for another retest and dump, especially if they pause rates and don't raise it. That's likely what we're going to get. All right. But also, if we look at this on a monthly, really from this low, price has moved in an uptrend. All right, at least from there. So this could, if price was to pump from here, I wouldn't be surprised because we look to the left. This is also a previous level of resistance or supply structure. So it pulled a little deeper. All right, so this is an area where price could potentially just pump. All right, and we could possibly see that if they decide to just come out, raise rates, it's possible. I wouldn't be surprised. It's possible that we do see a bigger pump. But that's something we just don't 100% know right now. It's best to just wait and allow price to react. Allow price to show their hand, and then we'll just react to what price shows. All right. And I like to look at the yen index as well. Starting to add this on as well, because if you like to trade yen pairs like I do, it's good to understand how this can give you an edge and what the yen is doing, so you can trade in line with that. So you can see the end of the week. Overall, the last few weeks, when we were able to catch those nice moves on yen, this was the bottom we caught for the pull up. But understanding that we're still in the downtrend. All right. So it ended this past trading week just continuing that trend. Right. We had a deeper pullback, slightly almost pulling for the retest of structure, but we saw we continue. So here on the weekly, we got an engulfing candle, right, on the yen. So that could be a sign that price is going to continue. We also got the yen rate statement that they're forecasting to stay the same. So that could possibly just continue the dump in the yen, which could be some nice potential. Them yen pairs moved crazy to start the week, and we'll look at those. But we can see here on the daily, we got a nice close below structure. All right, nice close back below this structure. Right, so I still like bearish pressure here. May possibly pull back some. Overall, I like for the yen to continue down, at least to this low, but possibly, possibly to continue to create lower lows and continue to trade in line with that downtrend. All right. Now looking at gold, was able to catch a nice sell on gold. Now when I came around this level, right, when I saw gold around this top, I was like, okay, it's either going to continue to pump or it's going to grab liquidity and then possibly set up. So when you get around these levels, especially with gold, understand that it's a lot of liquidity. Just react. I mean, allow for them to show their hand first. You see to the left, major level of supply, so significant area of supply structure, right? But this same level in the past was also a nice level of support. All right, so this is a level you pay attention to. Allow price to show his hand. Once I saw price come up, basically grab liquidity past that high, right, and close nice back below this level of structure, right? And I saw how the dollar was setting up to go bullish for the week. I knew it was best to start looking for a sell on gold. All right. So when I saw this close back right here, I actually entered on this pullback. So on this pullback, I was taking sales initially on gold, caught this initial move down. All right. Then once price broke down, we broke structure. You see, we broke structure here to the left, right here, right? This is the ideal area. You'll look for the next entry on the retest. Price retested, boom, continue. All right. So going into this week, though, with all the uncertainty with news, you want to be cautious. All right. This can still potentially give maybe another wave down. You maybe want to pull back first, possibly. But this could possibly just continue to drop from where it's at towards back down toward these levels. But anywhere within here, like I wouldn't be surprised if gold pump. So you want to be careful when you get around this level. All right. Because it actually hit the target I was looking for. But if we look to the left, all right, price is back around this area of structure right here. All right. So you want to pay attention to that, because this is a level where price can just bounce, especially if the dollar continues bearish. If that happened, definitely expect that. All right. So I would either say look for price, possibly give you another setup, but I would say be patient, especially with gold. You might want to even wait to FOMC, unless you see price shift here on the daily and start to go bullish and give you opportunity with a nice impulsive pump and maybe catch some pullbacks and look to ride that. All right. But if it does the opposite and maybe, the dollar continues bullish, if they raise rates, then we might see this more drop setup coming for gold. All right. So we just got to be patient. Don't be too predictable, or don't try to over predict, but really just react to price and have an idea what price is doing. GU. So GU was also a signal that was given out. Beautiful setup. And what was seen, like what I saw on GU, but first, if we look on the weekly, how the weekly closed. So, price rejected strong on the weekly. Looking to the left, it rejected around this area, same area of supply within structure. That's where it rejected from. So seeing that close on the weekly is interesting. It's almost railroads. It's not quite, but we'll see. Now, if that dump and the dollar pumps, then it looks like that might have been it. But overall, this is an area on GU that, if it was to pump, this is the area I will expect it to pump from. All right. Because you see, we are now sitting at a previous structure high. All right. So with that, we were able to catch this sell on GU. And this just went in line perfectly with me understanding that it was likely that the dollar was setting up for a bullish corrective week. So I just rolled in line with that, created that edge, and just reacted to what price action showed me, and it gave me more confidence to take these setups because I knew what was going on with the currency index as well. But you can see price initially grabbed liquidity, had a sharp projection away. That was an indication of sellers coming in. Boom, signal was called. We were able to catch that drop. All right, so we caught a nice drop there. So, right, so you see we dropped. Ideally, I would have liked to see like a retest, but we didn't get much of a retest. We had a slight pullback here and then continue. So now we're resting at this level. All right, so it's either GU is going to continue to just drop. All right, me personally, I probably will wait for one or two things. If I was looking to continue to sell this, I would need to see something like this. I could even take a trend line right here. All right, it's kind of resting around that. All right, but hypothetically speaking, if GU was to come down and just continue to break structure, now I probably would look to continue to trade in line with that, maybe on a retest or pullback and catch another wave down. All right, if it does that, then that's likely meaning the dollar is still pulling up. All right, or if it shifts here and gives a pump from this level hold structure, a nice bullish pump, impulsive pump away from this level, you could look for the pullbacks and, you know, look to trade to the upside. All right. All right, so we don't know for sure, but more than likely, it's going to depend on what the dollar do. All right, so we got to react. You know, once we see price develop and show his hand, and then, you know, we going for the kill. All right. EURUSD, this was another signal given. This was money right here. I was waiting on this, and I actually entered before the breakout because of the anticipation, but once I saw this breaker structure here, price broke structure, that was a strong, nice indication that goes in line with my strategy on a pullback, right? It pulled back a little deeper, not quite just a retest, but it's still retested within these areas and just continued because it still stayed below this lower high, right? This was the high of Wednesday, and this is around Thursday. We got that dump, all right? So now, moving forward, where price is currently at, like I said, my take profit 3 that was given was at 1.11000. So it came just about 8 to 7 pips shy of that. If we look at this on a weekly, overall, we are in an uptrend here on a weekly. I'm talking about from this low though. All right. We've been moving in an uptrend. All right. Now, of course, we look to the left. This is all downtrend motion. All right. But it's but I'm focusing more on where we're at within this wave. All right. Higher low, higher high when we broke above structure, and this is the correction. So again, this is going to depend on what the dollar does. The dollar is going to be the main catalyst when it comes to these majors, EU, GU, AU, etc. Gold. So we got to see. But what price is doing, if it's going to continue, is pulling down to the areas where it likely will continue from. So we probably could get one more drop on EU if it want to possibly set up. Because the way I see it, if FOMC is going to set us up for the dollar dump, then it's likely early in the week we'll probably see these moves continue for one more move down, like here with some dollar strength, and then set up, because I'm anticipating definitely manipulation with FOMC. Always anticipate the manipulation, liquidity grabs. So, but if the dollar continues bullish, then this is going to set up for an even bigger drop. If the dollar continues bullish, they raise rates and it just decides to continue bullish, then definitely I would expect an even bigger drop, right? I had that trend line there, so I would expect price to really set up for even bigger moves down if the dollar stays bullish, all right? So if we look here on a smaller time frame, where price is currently at, all right, this is where we could possibly see, you know, one more move down early, all right? Or it could just set up to go deeper up. So we'll see. We just got to wait. You know, I'm interested to see, you know, how they set up Monday, going into Monday, New York, you know, lining up into Tuesday, Wednesday, seeing what they set up for. All USD. So AU was a beautiful setup as well. What AU did actually was a liquidity grab because some news came out. All right. We had some news come out for AU. I mean, not for AU, but for Australian dollar. All right. And this move right here was all liquidity. So all it pumped. But with the pump, AU was grabbing liquidity, right? It grabbed liquidity above its lower high. All right, because ideally, when I see a break below structure like this, I like to see a retest and continue. But what it did with news, manipulation came to grab liquidity, and then we had the drop that I was anticipating. All right. So now seeing we got this nice close here on the 4-hour, you know, we got lower low. This basically is a lower high, grab liquidity there, created a lower low. All right. So what I would like to see, I would like to see another drop, at least one more drop. I would like to see this happen. You know, I actually will be looking if AU can give the type of drop I want to see. If I can get that, if I can get that with early, if I can get that before FOMC, I would like to see that happen. Right. I would like to see this slight pullback because you see here we got a nice close below structure with this daily strong bearish daily close. All right. So that's why I said if they're setting up for, you know, continued weak dollar, I wouldn't be surprised to see this early. You know, continue drop with the strength of the dollar pullback. And then if FOMC want to continue that dollar bearish, then set up possibly for something like that, possibly. All right. But early on, because I don't really want to be in any dollar pairs when FOMC comes out. All right. So if I can get this pullback early, slight pullback early on AU, I will look for the sell opportunity and look for another wave down. All right. You know, look to take that intraday and be out before FOMC. Because me personally, I would like to not be in any dollar pairs during FOMC. I would like to react following that event. All right. So that's AU. I'll be looking for another sell and then reacting to see what happens with FOMC. All right, now going into the yen pairs, man, the yen gave some strong moves to end the week. We can see here on EJ. Y'all know I've been following this pair, and we've been catching it on both sides. You know, EJ, GJ been giving some nice moves. So we can see here, EJ. We can look at the weekly, strong bullish pump. Because here on the weekly, you can see we've been in the uptrend, clear uptrend, right? Clear uptrend. So I knew this sell we caught on EJ was likely just a pullback to continue. So you see, boom, it continued. Nice bullish close, strong bullish close on the weekly. Also on the daily, strong bullish engulfing, right? That's all showing signs of continued bullish pressure. And this goes in line when you also look at the yen index that I covered, how it's bearish. It's continuing that bearish trend. So this goes in line with EJ pumping up because that goes in line with the weakness of the yen. Same thing with the other yen pairs. So seeing that we're bullish here, we now just reached this high. You know, I think it's a good chance that we can set up to break that high and continue to make a higher high. But before that, let's say if I look at the 4-hour, I would like to see a pullback first. Now, if we look to the left, we see we got some structure within here. I would like to see a pullback, something like this, right? Nice pullback within, and then set up for a continued move, right? I would like to see that pullback. But if that don't happen, if price just continue to break above structure, that's possible, and then possibly catch the pullback or retest and just ride the wave. We just got to react. Overall, pullback first will be ideal to set up for the next continuation move to the upside. And looking like at GJ, man, this was a beautiful. I'm gonna be honest, man. I fumbled this, and this happens. You know, I caught some pips, but then I exited. You know, I exited, said, let me get out. It's Friday. You know, I'm cool. But I saw this, and I was confident it was gonna pump. I just didn't see it pumping like that to end the week, and it went crazy. Like you can see from here, like we see here, right? Well, first, if we look at the weekly, all right. Price, same thing as EJ, right? Been moving in the uptrend, right? Now with this weekly, you know, tweezer bottoms, you know, nice wick rejections there on the weekly, indicating bullish pressure. Here on the daily, right? You basically look at this. This is a double bottom on the daily. Strong bullish engulfing. This engulfing candle engulfing the last 5 candles. It's engulfing the last 5 candles. It's engulfing a whole trading week, basically. All right. So that's clear indication that lean towards buyers. I wouldn't be looking for any sales on this unless you scalping. But same thing. So we had a pump. I would like to see some type of pullback first. If you could get some type of pullback first and then set up, you know, some type of pullback or structure, you know what I mean? Even if price wanted to come somewhere down here, you know, but overall, I would expect price to stay above that daily candle. But if you could get some type of pullback, you know, that would be ideal. All right. Now, if that don't happen, you know, it could just continue up from here and then maybe catch the next pullback after that and then ride. But overall, I would only look for buys on GJ. And to catch this buy, it was a real beautiful setup. Now, when you get around these levels, there's a lot of liquidity grabs. You can see like here, you know, wick, and then close back with the bullish engulfing, right? Right after that, came back down and closed below, like, you know, grab liquidity below that, pump back up, form the bullish engulfing, right? After that, it held, but this was a slight inverted head and shoulders. So when I saw this indication, I was like, okay, and this nice close, I was like, yeah, I believe it's going to pump, right? Inverted, and then boom, we got the pump. Saw the nice bullish price action and price follow through after that. All right, so overall, see if we can get a pullback. See if we can get some type of pullback and go. All right. UJ. So UJ was actually a buy that was called out. It hit our last TP, I believe, for like 182 pips, I said. This was textbook. This was also, but initially it grabbed liquidity, but then you see around here, grab liquidity, but then it formed strong bullish engulfing pressure and pumped. But this also inverted head and shoulders, right? It had a strong pump, slight pullback, right? And continued. All right. So same thing, you know, overall, this is looking bullish. If we look at the weekly, slightly setting up to continue to go bull. All right. So same thing with this, some type of pullback, right? Some type of pullback to set up to go higher. All right. You can even take your trend line here. All right. But overall, I would look for price, ideally to give a pullback within structure and set up to continue to the upside. All right. All right. So yeah, that's all I'm going to cover now. Again, this is yet another week where I'm mainly focused on yen and dollar. I've been focusing on that a lot lately. A lot of opportunities, and you know, with how I scout the yen index and the dollar index, it gives me that edge. But keep in mind, if you're trading dollar pairs, know that they're likely going to go in the same direction. The majors, gold, GU, EU, AU, they're going to move in the same direction. So it's really just take your pick, but you use them, you know, see what gives you the good setup and execute. Same thing with EJ, GJ, UJ. All right, they're likely going to go in the same direction. So once you have the bias and you understand what the US dollar is doing, or you understand what the yen index is doing, that gives you an edge. So now when you go to that pair, allow price to, you know, price action to develop, give you that hand on that specific pair, and then you execute. All right. So I hope y'all got value out of that. Be sure to, you know, if you got value, go ahead and support by at least just, you know, dropping a like for me. You can subscribe as well. All links, everything will be in the bio if you want to tap into the free Telegram to get, you know, the daily and weekly updates I send out. But if you want the signals, if you want the live sessions and the training and everything, you could tap into the fxwave.com, and I'll be honored to help you out. All right. Y'all be blessed. Let's catch some more pips this week. Peace. Shalom.